Welcome to another video podcast of Wayne's World and Kelly. Today's special guest, Brad Bett, Regional VP with KW Property Management and Consulting out of Boca Raton, Florida. Welcome, fellas. Brad, how you doing?
We're fantastic, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's exciting.
Yeah, appreciate having you on. So you are actually our first guest since I landed in Florida on September 2nd. And the first time I met you, I believe it was at CAI National in Orlando. I think that would have been what was that, May or June? I think we kind of recognize you.
Beginning of May. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of the power of LinkedIn that I love. I know we kind of recognize each other kind of right away, which is kind of weird. I was walking, I think, off the elevator or escalator, and I saw you, and we introduced ourselves to each other and started yapping for a few minutes. So again, welcome to the show.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys having me. This is awesome, and I especially love the backdrop there. I think you're in a better spot than both Kelly and myself.
It's freaking blinding me. I don't know if you can tell, like, but I get it. I appreciate him showing off. Not only showing off that, he's showing off his nice hat. Did you notice his nice hat? Because today's sponsor is the Terminator. So
yes.
this guy, he's a big entrepreneur, and he's part owner of the Terminator, which, if you ever need to do some vinyl siding back up in your home digs up in Northern Virginia, where vinyl siding is king, the Terminator clip can actually save them 1/3 of the installation time. How's that for doing a freaking plug, huh? Hey, so let's get back to the show.
Hey, that's what these are for, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the shout out. Go ahead, Kel.
I was just going to say, how exciting is it to be from a city, Washington, D.C., that not only I'm from, but also home of the Washington Nationals, who's really killing it this year.
Oh, God. You
had to throw that one in there. And then the football team were the Commodores, the Commandos.
Commandos.
I'm just embarrassed that they changed the name. When I was in high school, we picked the Eagles, which was silly because it was Northern Virginia and Philadelphia, but it's a compliment to whatever you're naming a name, and then they go ahead and they call the name the Commanders, and they lose to Redskins. Which, if I was an Indian, I'd go, "Cool, man, thanks for calling us the Redskins." I'm not politically correct, and that one I'm just baffled on. But
I think we're starting to get used to it now because they did that drawing to kind of figure out fan vote, so they called it. And, my runner-up was Red Wolves. So I was hoping for Red Wolves. Obviously, I would have preferred them stay, what they were. But, hey, we're moving forward, and we're 1-0. We're 1-0.
Oh, my God.
We're moving.
On Facebook, people going, "We're going to the Super Bowl, baby."
Yeah,
like,
right.
Are you kidding me?
after playing the Jaguars, man.
Right.
Hey, that's okay. We'll take. You know how it is, though, right? I mean, come on, Kelly. Washington, D.C. fans, we'll take anything at this point.
It's been, I'm old enough to remember when we had a great team.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Talk about showing your age. But
the Rock, no way, man. I remember it well. My sister was the team babysitter for the Redskins back in the late 80s. So, me as a young, tyke, I always had the Redskins players at my house. And I remember these gargantuan dudes coming over and just playing volleyball with them and whatever. And we'd go through the players tunnel and, the stadium rocking at RFK. That was the best experience, man. I hope when they do the new stadium, I think they're up in a couple of years. I really hope they go back to RFK or at least somewhere in actual DC.
That would be nice.
Not Lando.
I actually got arrested at the current stadium. Oh my God, it was before my daughter's born. That was like 29 years ago. So it's a funny story. We won't tell it now, but what a cliffhanger for someday to tell that story. I got released. There is no record if anybody looks it up, but let's just say some people got out of line. I got caught up in the middle, and I purposely hit a guy who hit me, who turned out to be a police officer for Washington. Took him down.
That's just bad luck, man.
And the next thing you know, I've got the cuffs on. 100% true story. And I got guys that can come on and validate it. It was a wild, freaking night in this innocent guy's life, but it was a good punch, man.
I love it.
Then you went to Robinson High School, which is like, there's going to be people be watching this that went to Robinson. Some of your previous.
Robinson High School, man. At that
It's
time,
it's
it
an
was
iconic school. I mean, that's where the guy that runs Under Armour went to school.
yeah. So we had a couple big football players there, and we also, like, I remember just how big it was. I think the school buildings itself was actually 2 square miles. So when we had lacrosse practice, if your ball just happened to, you know how the lacrosse balls bounce forward and back, if it bounced down the hallway, you're like, get it tomorrow. Because it's, I mean, you're walking a mile to get the ball. So there's just
Right.
no way.
But no, massive school. A lot of really great people went to Robinson. I mean, it is definitely for people from Northern Virginia, that's an iconic school. So that's pretty cool. And then
Yeah, man.
and then George Mason, you know, the worst thing that ever happened to them was them doing great at basketball one year. But
Hey, we still hold our hat on that. Yes. 2005, right? We were the Final Four, the Cinderella story. We'll hang our hat on that one, man.
It was a great academic school, and as soon as y'all got good at basketball, y'all became another school.
Yeah,
So
it went up.
I'm just gonna say that's my only problem with that school was I mean, it really was known as a great academic school. Y'all get close to winning a championship, and it became a party school, just like Radford. So.
Oh my God, yeah. Did you go to Radford?
No, I went to East Tennessee State University.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I got nothing. I mean, we had the prettiest girls at that school, and I learned a lot. And some of my best friends are from that. You know, that's where we met. So for that, I'm forever grateful. But I had an academic scholarship at Virginia Tech because of my involvement in business in high school. And I was also offered one at RC at Roanoke College, which were probably 2 better choices. But you know, I'm happy where I'm at. But
East Tennessee is a beautiful area, though, man. I mean, there's no fault in that at all. We love going up there. Even, you know, being in Florida in the heat, we love going up there just to visit.
Right,
Beautiful.
it is stunning. East Tennessee is absolutely, and the people. I mean, they're nice. Until you leave the room, they're the nicest people I ever meet. So.
100%. Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm at a friend's place down there whose parents live locally, and there's a bunch of people there. It's like one of the places where we'd all go and hang out. And they'd feed us, and just wonderful, wonderful family. But sometimes when people would walk out of the house and they go, "Oh, you know about that person." So one day I made the mistake being a Northerner saying, "Well, I'm afraid to leave." And they go, "Why are you afraid to leave?" I said, "Because I don't know what you're going to say about me after I leave." I wasn't the Southern hospitality they wanted out of.
That's all right, man.
So you met your wife at a young age?
Yeah, so we've known each other, gosh, going back to, because, you know, Robinson was a secondary school, so it had middle and high. We've known each other, or known of each other at least, and since probably 7th grade. So, gosh, it had to say 20 plus years. I mean, we've been, you know, we reconnected online, believe it or not, of all things. We reconnected online, and Kelly, you'll love this. She was wearing a on one of the dating profiles, Capitals jersey.
Oh, so you were done.
Yeah, at that point, I was kind of like exhausting all efforts, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go watch a Redskins game together. So it just, yeah, and then the rest of the story wrote itself, and we got these 2 beautiful little princesses, man.
They are beautiful. I'm a fan of kids, not so much of adults, but y'all need to knock out a few more. Y'all make, I think mainly because of her, but you know, you have some beautiful kids. So
definitely because of her, man. Sometimes I look at the you know, the mailman. I'm like, hey, wait a minute here. She got your eye.
Unbelievable. Okay, and there's no editing, so you're in a doghouse on that one.
That's all right.
So you have a pivotal challenge going on right now. Your daughter has left the nest and she's entered school. How's that going?
Oh, we love it. We love it. We didn't know what to think of it. Obviously, they're now waking up quite a bit earlier than they're used to. So it's really the go in there and, you know, good morning world song we got going on. And we take them at the same time, but they're missing each other because they were, for the last 2 years in VPK, they were in the same school together. And now with the oldest going to, you know, elementary school, it's been a bit of a challenge, but 2 polar opposite kids. You know, the oldest is the rule follower, and she'll come home and tell us, you know, the other students were doing this. And then my youngest will, you know, chuck a ball at the back of your head while you're not looking. So 2 polar opposites here.
So my mom had 9 kids. I'm the youngest, and she was an Irish woman. She's worse than me. Was worse than me. Now she's in heaven. but telling stories. And she would sit there and say that you have a good kid. So, and God designed it that way so you'd have the second kid. Because if you had your first kid, first, then you never have the second kid. And then she says it alternates. And for a woman that had 9 kids, so, everyone's looking, going, okay, wait a second, and I don't know if my oldest brother was a good kid when he was little. I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway, again, but it is tough. And it's wild to experience all the different things. But I miss my daughter being your daughter's age. I mean, it was so much fun. You just look at them in amazement all the time, and the things that they say. The fact that your oldest one's a rule follower and she's like a little narc, and you're like going, you're proud of her, and then you're like, wait a second, I want my kid to be the
Hey,
narc.
she didn't get that from either of us. I can tell you that, man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times your kids are opposite of ourselves as well. My daughter's very bright, so go figure. Another mailman.
Well, so here's another thing. This is cool. So my brother has a daughter and a son. His oldest is like auburn hair, brown eyes. His youngest is blonde and blue. We have the exact same thing going on here. My oldest is like this auburn hair. Women pay a lot of money for that hair. Brown eyes, olive skin, just like my wife. And then my youngest is blonde and blue, and just they don't even look related. It's crazy, man. Just it's awesome though. It's a good feeling. And they're in the Disney years right now, right? Like every vacation is for them, and we want to give them experience. We're giving them experiences, which is what we always wanted to do. We want them to grow up with the values and the things that we got to do and accomplish, and kind of give them a good role models.
Right. So working at the great KW property management firm as a regional vice president.
Yes.
How's the work-life balance going?
It's great. It's great. It's truth be told, it's given me, a lot of flexibility, because I run, I have a North Broward property, and then all the way up to right now, Port St. Lucie, which is great. We have, again, I use that term flexibility, but we, with me and my team, we're able to kind of build our own island up here. We have our own roots. It's kind of like having our own business, and it's, we've got a great support system behind us, and, we're building. I mean, we're growing like crazy. The market was tough for a while with getting talent and hiring people, but I'm even seeing a huge rebound in that. Now, granted, salaries are now increasing quite a bit, which that's across the board.
Right.
But, it's special. It's been a special thing. I think it was a good move and a good change for me. And I'm just, I'm along for the ride, man. I'm enjoying it.
So have you noticed the migration? Like down in Miami, you'll have a lot of you get all age groups of property managers, but you get more of an influx of young, and then you see them migrating through Broward and up through West Palm Beach as they mature in management. So, so do y'all feed onto that? Because that's what I witness in my position.
Sometimes we do. I think it's a kind of a natural progression, right? We see, really it's where the opportunities are. And we're fortunate with KW because we have, really the bread and butter is at Miami-Dade,
Right.
I think the #1 management company down there for Miami-Dade. And as we grow up here and these opportunities, we're not towers right next to each other up in this area. In fact, like when you get to Delray, I think you can't build more than like 3 stories on the water. So, we're getting a lot of that horizontal. We're building a lot of HOAs. We're building a lot of country clubs, and it's great. I mean, the growth is spectacular. We really typically grow organically, but the word is out. The word's out for sure.
Hey, Brad,
we're the #1 state in the country. We're the #1 state in all the world.
Right now, yeah, absolutely. We overtook Texas. I think we get 2,700 people a day that are moving to Florida.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's insane. And we've got the most between us and Texas with the amount of HOAs and condos we have. It's just unreal. So there's tons of opportunity. That's for sure.
So people that are listening out of Florida, we're all hiring. So
we're hiring. Let's go.
Our newest resident, Wayne. He's a statistic at this point.
Yeah, I want to hear about this, Wayne. I want to hear, man. I know you had talked about it for a long time, so I'm proud of you for making that move.
Yeah, it's we've been vacationing here in New Smyrna Beach for 20 years. So, kind of that old saying, it's kind of nice to live where you vacation. Um, being warm is very underrated. So that weather related reason, coupled with the growth factor that we've had with American Building Contractors. I mean, we're a national company, so I can work anywhere. It does not matter. I don't even need a laptop anymore. I don't need a tablet. I just need my phone. So coming to Florida here has been kind of a natural choice, and it feels so good to be in this city because of the familiarity that we had prior to becoming a resident here. Well, Brad, I got a question for you. I want to, with the time remaining that we have left, touch base a little bit on your military background, and as our world, not only our world, but I'll narrow it down to the world that we play in, the HOA world. All three of us are in. That the person that got shot and killed in Atlanta.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, what do you look at from a former military perspective of this? All right, the one swear word I'm going to use, shit show going on. I mean, you are on the front lines of this, dude.
Yeah.
You are on the front lines of this. You represent your company, new business development. You wear a lot of hats. So if anybody can answer this question, man, it's you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, rest in peace to the lives we lost there. That was just an absolute tragedy.
I mean,
that should never happen.
God,
And I can
right?
tell you there's been numerous occasions where I myself have been, a target for individual residents, board members, even in Kelly up in Reston. I had a shotgun pulled on me by a lady who was probably in her 70s or 80s because I was doing just site inspections. So
wow,
that kind of stuff is, and people don't realize. I try to tell people, even my wife, I tell people that it's not, all roses. It's, if you paint a picture of community management, we deal with a lot of negativity because, it's more frequent for them to come to us with complaints than it is for them to come and say we're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
it's their home.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me, but ultimately, we need to do a better job of protecting our managers, protecting our people in this industry because, we're not we're not ice cream salesmen. We're not there, delivering good, sweet treats. We're here to do a job and do it well. And sometimes we're not giving the people the answer they want to hear. And, not to be political by any means, but from a military background for me, I'm always aware of my surroundings, and many people, they say it's hard to go to lunch or dinner with me because I always know I know where my exits are. I have a plan before I even go in the place. But
I always like to sit in the corner so I can see everything that's going on in the restaurant. So I
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And even
I'm not
like
leaving my back.
I'm training them to do the same thing because, unfortunately, that's the world we live in today. My daughter comes home and second day of school and kindergarten, she says, we had a red alert today. I said, well, what is a red alert? In my mind, I'm like, I know exactly what she's talking about. But, we used to do tornado drills and bomb shelter drills. Now it's, active shooter drills.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't plan for it or really prepare for it. You just have to be aware. You have to know where, be aware of your surroundings. And, ultimately, I don't know what the answer is, but I do think, as companies get bigger and they bring on more people, we've got to do a better job with security and training. And, I installed, even when I was at Boca West, I installed, red alert panic buttons. We had glass. So I tried, every little bit helps, right? You've got to include deterrence in your plan.
Sure. You have to,
Appreciate
you want
that.
to make it a wonderful environment, but you also have to live in reality of some of the things.
Got to be vigilant. Have to be vigilant. I think that's the best word because as much as you want, like you said, want to just go to your 9 to 5, have your lunch, go home, smile. It's real. It's a real world out there. We can't have blinders.
Yeah. Well, like with us, at LGC, where we take care of making sure buildings are structurally sound and safe. But we also have to harden these buildings and communities to make sure that they're safe for the community, and safe from each other is the hardest part. And that's unfortunate that's something that is, I don't know how you fix it, but at least you got, like you said, you have to make sure that your property managers are going to be safe in that environment. So it's a real concern. Not the light and fun stuff I like to talk about, but the reality of our world that we live in today.
Yeah, you've got a lot of disgruntled residents, and I'd love to say I live in an HOA myself. It's going to eventually be at build out like 2,400 homes. So not everybody's going to be the best neighbor, and I mean that's the reality of it. So you just have to be vigilant. I see it on the HOA page already. People are just chirping, and they're like, what do you call them? The online bullies, and they're keyboard warriors. So
Right.
they're tough behind the screen, but you just never know what somebody will do. So.
Sure. So we have to. So have you done any business with Dawn Miller, the paving lady?
On some of the individual associations, yes, we have, and Dawn's a wonderful person.
So that's, I think,
we've
we've given
her
her
courses as well.
We've given her a shout out every single show. So Dawn, again,
Hi, Dawn.
to you. Hello, Dawn.
Some of the stuff that we talk about just happens, like this entire conversation. But then sometimes we always have to throw in these little nuggets just because it's become part of the show. So
listen,
it's
the right thing to do. We're a large industry, but we're small. We all know each other, and we got to look out for each other.
Oh yeah,
we do have a great community. I find that South Florida is extremely welcoming to newer people, as opposed, you and I, all three of us are, we're not Florida natives. Dawn is a fourth generation Floridian, but she and all the others are very welcome to us. I like to call us interlopers, but we're like the adopted child. We want that child. My parents didn't want me. They're like, ah, crap, here's another one. But the adopted ones, and so it's nice that South Florida adopts us as residents. But we also, I think, we're good contributors to our communities, and we do really care about this. We chose to live here. We just we didn't show up, And I'm excited because Miami, the Dolphins, even though they broke my heart back in 1972, 73, when they took my Super Bowl from the Redskins, they're in first place right now, baby, and I'm going all Dolphins. Woo!
Hey, go! You sound like my brother, man. He has like a reversible jersey depending on who's winning that day. He's got the Redskins, and then he'll flip it over. He got the Dolphins, man.
He's a genius. I like that guy.
Hey, how do you guys like the background? Do you like the background?
Man, where's your surfboard?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is like one of the surf capitals, I guess, of the United States here. That's what they always pimp it as. And they got some really nice waves out here. So
it's just, say pimp anymore?
I already used the S word on here. I think I can use the.
Yeah, this has been a complete shit show with you on it. But isn't that gorgeous? I mean, to all the people that live up in Minnesota, look at him now.
Hey man, look, short sleeves, and I gotta show the logo as well, man. Yeah, we got the short sleeves on every day, and air conditioning kicking year round. It's a good place to be, man.
I don't like the air conditioning. I keep my place at 78 if I'm working at home today, and I drop down to 75 to 72 at night maximum. I've become nice and thin-skinned. I love it. I went up to Northern Virginia for a funeral a few weeks ago. I looked at the weather report, and they said it was going to be in the low 70s. I packed a pullover.
Oh my, yeah.
Wow.
We were golfing, up in DC area. When it's 50 degrees, we're out there playing in polo shirts. And now 50s, I'm heading to the shelter.
So if I can tell a quick story. So when I was actually stationed, I did a joint task force operation in Alaska. I didn't know anything about the place. And I went there, and so obviously Alaska, everybody knows, glaciers everywhere. I wore shorts and t-shirts unless I absolutely had to put something else on. I didn't even own a pair of pants till I was like 16. So I like the cold, but I don't really get too cold. But the one time was when they told us there was no hot water. So we were showering with this big military bladder of water that you literally had to put through a bottle of water and poke a hole through it. So that's the water that you're washing yourself with. So you stood far away from it and just kind of did this real fast and did a PT shower, man. It was some cold water. That's a cold place.
No, what was the season you were there?
I was there for about seven months, and I think it went through summer. So it was that they call it like the 30 days of night. which in reality is like a haze. It's almost like a rainy day. It's not it's not like pitch black or anything like that. But being on a mountaintop, man, that can be scary because we were building paved roads. We were literally tearing down a mountain with explosives and building roads for the natives that live there. It's crazy.
Wow. You can work for the
that's
pavement lady.
Wow.
See, I should have reached out to Dawn, send her over there and
That's
pack
right.
her bag. We'll knock it out quick.
I love it. Well, this has been great, brother. And we covered nothing, but we covered everything. And it was really great having you on the show.
Fellas,
We're gonna have to
I
get out
appreciate the time, man. I'm an honored guest. I really appreciate you guys.
Brad, you're really good energy, man. Honestly, like Kelly said, we covered nothing, but yet we did everything, which is, in my definition, that's a successful call. That's what we strive for all the time, right, Kay?
100%. We'll get together all together soon now. Before it was like, our South Florida guests and I can get together, but see you, Wayne. We'll see you every year at the convention.
No, you tell me.
Well, no.
I'll host you both. I'll host you both.
Yeah.
We'll go down, maybe do a round and grab a bite and some brews. I'm ready.
100%.
That'd be great. Appreciate your time, Brad, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you again soon. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, fellas.
All right.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Have a good one.
guys.
Take care,
Have a
guys.
great day.